we try to let our kids learn it because we're not out there to make those quick adjustments. But sometimes in game plans, when you kind of know, in my little call sheet, we'll talk about call sheet a little bit later on, I'll put that in the notes. Hey, third down, they're heavy blitzers. Inside the 20, we want to run stay. There's certain things we know we want to do, so Bo will tell them that then. But a lot of times we want them to learn it. Our goal is to give them all the tools. Yep. Yes. Stay call, if you guys run wing T before, it's basically like running G. Basically, you're just going to walk everything down, you're going to kick out, and you're going to so you don't have a lead blocker if you call stay. So if you aren't sure what stay is, guys, we normally would pull kick and pull rack. But they stay, he's staying home. He's not pulling. So now we're down with everything, and we're kicked. Okay? So basically we're going to hit like G. So he's going to run the same path, he just doesn't have the lead blocker. But hopefully if we've called it right, we don't need the lead blocker because he's blitzing. All right, so here again, crack, and then there's your read. We can run slant. I think he ran a hitch off. This was our auto. Okay, for us this year was he was going to run fast screen up top. But we're setting up some play action stuff we're going to talk about. I think it's either today or tomorrow. Talk about what we call pops. Where we're setting up, we're watching this kid right here and how he's reacting to that. So we're going to crack block here and read that kid. In the box, that's all I'm looking at is that kid. If that kid stays back, we're going to keep running buck all night long because we're going to have to block that guy. Okay? If that kid runs with our receiver, we're going to keep running buck all night long. What we're really looking for is when he sticks his nose in to make a tackle, we're about to burn your rear end with a play action pass. And we'll talk about that later on. We also tried to RPO this. So this is our attempt at RPOing front side. Maybe you have a guy's a little better. We were going to run crack and go and read the safety. Okay? Crack and go and read the safety, which is wide open. It's wide open, but we were not able to read that, so we started play actioning that instead. You see what I'm talking about? Crack and go. So now we just run what we call pops. But that would be an option if you want to dive heavy into the play action game. Because my goodness, if you threw that, it would have been a touchdown. But we weren't real good at kind of being patient with that. So if you want a front side RPO, there's an option for you. We do that a bunch now, but we do it with play action. Okay? All right, so here's the way you kind of flavor it all up. So we want to run the same stuff. We want to run bubble. We can still run steal or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But now we're going to run the motion to kind of dress it up for the quarterback. And we do this for a couple reasons. I talked about it last night some. Defensive players, especially DBs, okay, are working on different fits, how they're going to run fit. The safety's got this leverage and he's got that leverage. And the minute we do this, we come in motion right here, all their leverage is just changed. Okay, now they're fitting differently. So the kid you work with all week is now going to fit different. So this is, again, just saying how easy it is to put this stuff in. We had about 5 weeks of practice before we played this game, and we had not run the wing T ever at Searcy. Okay, so now we're going to go motion and watch the movement of the backs. He's coming up, and these guys are rolling back. Okay, and we're going to run buck sweep. We don't block it real well at all, but we are going to run the bubble look, and we're going to get them to move their DBs to give us the look we want. There we go. So you kind of see. We're going to roll up. We're changing leverage. Still have the bubble if we want it. It's covered, so we gave the handoff. But it's a very subtle, simple, easy look. You'll be surprised how much it kind of changes the game for you. Yeah, the way we try to teach bubble is most dangerous threat, as we call it. So we're going to fire off, assuming it's the corner. If the corner bails, we should plan to come back to whatever's showing up. Okay, that was early here before we weren't great with it, but that's what we should be doing. Same thing on our fast screen. We're going to release the corner to block him. If he bails, we're here. And we're going to take whatever's showing. We just assume every defense has somebody responsible for this. Okay? All right, here's, again, kind of an idea, not really an RPO for us, but I want to show how motion works. So this team is good. I think they actually beat us in this one. We beat them this year, but that year they beat us. That kid right there is a good ball player. This kid is a good ball player. We're going to run motion, and they're going to spin everybody. And what does ends up happening is, in this formation, with this alignment, that guy is responsible for outside fit, and that guy is responsible for inside fit. That makes sense? Okay? When we go motion, all right, we go motion, pause it. Now everything's changed. So now this guy who was supposed to play outside fit is now supposed to play inside fit. Okay? And now they've rolled. We're going to run buck sweep, and I want you just to keep your eyes on that guy. Okay? He fits outside, touchdown. Well, we tackled the one. We're the kings who can tackle the 1 yard line. But you see the idea here. Run motion, I changed his fit. I'm sure that Star City's a well coached. They run the wing tee. They're good at it. I'm sure he was coached up. But he's a 15-year-old kid, so I just changed his fit on, and it hits like that. And for our kids, that takes not even 5 minutes to put in. For our kids, that's buck bubble. We're just running the motion of it. That makes sense? So you can run all these same RPOs with a quick motion. To you, it doesn't really change much. But to a defense, it changes a lot.
Coach, have you run any rocking at all during the year to set that up at all? Or
You'd be surprised how many times we don't run option and we run things. Where was the question from? That's a good question. Coach Gould, how many times we run option? We ran option once, I think it was a fumble. Okay. We run option once in about 5 years. But defensive coordinators, if we show option on film, they're going to cover those guys. So that's a good question. The answer, though, is I don't think we've thrown that bubble once. I think we threw it once this year. It was incomplete. Okay, but when you run that look, you're forcing a DC to fit things different. Like, they're not going to be unsound. Most DCs are going to say, we better fit this, this, and this, even if you're not going to give it. Okay? Here's the same game, same look. I think it's the fourth same kid we're going to pick on. Just changing his fit. Watch him fit outside again, and we're gone. It's the same thing. We're just giving that subtle change to that kid. You know, this is a good team. It's not a bad team right here, but that safety kept fitting outside, and we cut it up inside him. We didn't even block really well in that play. But by changing his eyes and his fit, we created. Now, can we run the bubble off it? Absolutely. We can get in this look, run that motion, and run steal, key, whatever you want. We probably can't run peak. We can run everything else just by doing that look, and it's different to a defense. I think I got one more. We'll do some questions. This is this year, right? This is this year. It's the same deal. This one we do throw it. Here's one we actually do. Yeah, this is 2 years later, same team. Pull, run out there, flip it late. Looked like hot garbage when he flipped it, but it got there. Like Brett Favre did out there. We told him that too. Brett Favre did out there too. Now I want you to watch this. It's not a great play, okay, because our receiver decided not to block on the edge, but it's there. So his reads, okay, his read, we're running steal. So motion, steal, and then we're going to run the bubble with the guy who ran the bubble. So he's reading here first, he pulls it, then he throws the bubble. If we had bothered to block the corner out there on that play, don't blame that, by the way. If we bothered to block the corner on that, that's a good play. I think I already yelled at him. We pull it, we block that corner, look what we have. Okay, we decided we didn't want to block the corner of that play because maybe he called us a bad word or something. But we blocked him. We got a really good play there. But that's how it looks when you can put it all together. So we can window dress it. And here's the one time we actually did it. And it looked rough, but it was there. We blocked the corner. You have a huge play right there. So that's kind of the way we'll put all those RPOs together. All right. Questions? We're going to take a little break, come back and do the signals and stuff. I figure we're going to have some, yeah. Yeah, Coach asked, what are we looking for in film to kind of know what RPOs we want on Sunday with the coaching staff, we talk about what we think we're going to practice all the fields on this, but we kind of know based off of certain things. If they are they're reading offensive linemen. We talked about like upfield defensive players versus down the line. If they're down the line, we really like to run the steal, the read, all that stuff, and we know they're going to kind of come down the line with us. If they are upfield, we know we run steal, we're probably handing it off. We're probably going to hand the ball off on that because that's how they're playing us. If that helps. But we also will check film for how disciplined are their linebackers. And when we talk about jet here, I think the last session before lunch, we run a little false key where we'll run jet and pull the guards. If that dude follows the guards, we know they're reading guards, we're going to run peek and key all night long because it's there. If he's keying the guards, we know we can pull it and run it. If he chases the jet, we know that he's not keying guards. So, good question. Sir? We could, we'd have to run it with our X. So in my mind, and I haven't told Bo this yet, but we could run that and run X peak. And now we're going to run the bubble and run the glance or the peak with the X. We absolutely could. We wouldn't have done it last year. This year's quarterback would be it. So, we softball it up, baseball it up like a shortstop. So pretend you're a shortstop, you're turning it up to play. We're here, we don't want to move this. We can't get off our platform, but we're here, and then we're going to throw it. It should be a rise and throw. So I don't overcoach it, which is probably why we don't complete it very much, but we're pretty simple with it. Yeah. And you will see too, guys, there are certain ways, like if you noticed, I think on the film, we ran peak to the left probably 90% of the time, because our quarterback's right-handed, because that's a hard, this is a whole lot harder to throw the glance on. So just kind of know as you're calling this stuff, you may have one that can only throw it one way or another, and that may be a tendency, but that's a tough throw for a right-handed quarterback to come here, reset his feet, and then throw that ball. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of practice. I'm hoping our quarterback can get kind of hurt shoulder. I'm hoping he can at least go through some of this so you can watch this. But we will start them off with just seeing how many places they can move their eyes and still get the handoff and make the right read. So a lot of times we will do, we know we can run the divorce concept, the bubbles and the fast, we know we can do that no problem. Can we attach things? We want to see how quick he can process it. So I will move, it's me holding up numbers on my hand, and he's reading me as he's running the mesh. Can he handle this? Can he handle this? And once he gets good enough to handle numbers, we go to body movement. Once he can go to body movement, we start trying it in team a little bit and seeing what he can do. But that's where those pods really come in, is I can evaluate real quickly, okay, this guy can read this one can read this one can read this one. But we'll start them, I think Bo mentioned last night, we'll start them young, seeing what they can do and progressing them up. We've had a 7th grader this year, I think it's going to be a good one for us. I think he'll be able to read RPOs in the 8th grade. Our 9th grade quarterback this year, no bueno. He couldn't read them. He'll be a 10th grader next year. So you just got to kind of adjust to what they can do. And guys, what we're going to do, we've got school in session. So we kind of have the lobby. They're okay with us going towards. We're going to go about 5 minutes here because I want to steal an extra session, talk about signals and verbal cues. And we're going to do counter, which will be a shorter session, and jet, which will be a little shorter session. And then we have lunch. If you're not registered for lunch at Backwoods, I think they've got the things there. It's also on the website. They just kind of need a number so they have enough wings for us. I told them they're going to lose money on a buffet of wings. So if you guys want to go, just make sure you sign up for that. We got about 5 minutes here, and we'll come right back in. That's good.